let's listen to this again quietly. Is there any encouragement and comfort in Christ in you? Are you happy? Are you excited? Do you know Christ? All right. So does that give you some kind of joy? Okay. Now, Paul's asking a question like I'm asking to a bunch of people that are already saved, so I know y'all answers. And that is the right answer. How you doing, Sister Donna? I know your answers, but if you think about the question, is there any joy in being in Christ? Is there any peace in his love? And you know what? The world goes so fast, and things go on so much in our lives, and trouble comes and trials come. Sometimes we forget all of those things you just answered yes to. And then we feel bad. You know, I think Paul's the same one that says no matter what condition I find myself in, I still count it all joy. You know. And how can a person say something like that when I'm in all kinds of chaos? But Paul starts the lesson out trying to remind us it's something to belong to Christ. It's something to know his love. You know, it's not just a little small thing. It's a great thing. It's a big thing. And sometimes, like, you have to be like David and encourage yourself. You got to remember just how great it is that I'm saved. You know, even though I might not have no money, even though trouble might be at my door, sickness might be on my body, I still got to stop and think, hear those questions that Paul is asking so that I can say yes and remember why I'm saying yes. Okay, so he brings all that in, and then he says in verse 2, then make me truly happy by agreeing wholeheartedly with each other, loving one another, and working together with one mind and purpose. The King James says, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord and of one mind. See, he loves this church so much, he's like the pastor, a pastor that's not there, and he's saying, if you're saying yes to all these questions, y'all are fulfilling my joy. I want y'all to be happy and agree wholeheartedly with each other. Man, don't y'all find that's sometimes hard to do, right? But when somebody asked Jesus, what is the greatest commandment of all the great commandments? Jesus said, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy mind. And the other, love your neighbor as yourself. And see, sometimes we find it hard to love our neighbor. And the problem that Paul has found out in his church, and a lot, and even our lives today and our churches today, is we are not on one accord. We're not united. Now, I played football, and if you look at a team that wins, like the 49ers or something like that, one of the things that the coach does is get all this talent, and they're all good. You got great receivers, you got great running backs, you got great blockers, but you cannot win anything unless everybody is on one accord, have one goal. You'll hear somebody say, you broke the record here, and that person says, yeah, that's good, but we want to win. You know, we come to win the championship. We got one goal. And so we in the church, we just answered yes to all these things. I'm so glad. And Paul is telling them to be happy and agree wholeheartedly with each other. Now, I just asked y'all before, y'all have problems sometimes with your fellow neighbor, right? And we do because we're human. But see, we have to learn not to walk in our humanness, but walk in the right spirit. And God himself tells us that we got to love our neighbor, right? And how can we love our neighbor when they're doing all kinds of things against us? When, I can make a